these healthcare leaders, they're facing this pressure to be more visible than ever. The boards want it, the investors want it, the teams want it, and like you said, the customers want it. And most of these leaders, they don't have time to write or put their voice out there. Their calendars are stacked. They're dealing with internal struggles that they, fires they need to put out. And if they're really following kind of internal sterile content marketing, their voices, it gets sanded down, right? And marketing kind of flattens it out.
Back at it again.
Hey, Content Crib episode, who knows? I don't even know what, we're in the 30s,
We
right?
are
Somewhere middle 30s.
I can tell you, I just looked. We're number 38.
It's cool. I mean, it's awesome how it's a weekly routine, and it's funny how our conversations are evolving. I'm sure we'll touch on AI today, but first we wanted to kind of start off with chatting about Content Crib upcoming in October.
Yeah.
Such a huge success with 6.0 and the 1 + 1 = 3. You have some intimate knowledge of some of the projects that are coming out of that, right? I mean, I know Jerry and Mike Nelligan are putting out an amazing project, right?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna work with them on some level, doing our team and implementing the 4 pillars, and it's gonna be great. And the app that they're creating is gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna tie into really cool. I don't want to give away too much, but surgeon information. I mean, it's profiling. It's going to be. I think that's really going to be the winner of everything they're doing right there. Is really the app that's going to come along with it. That I know Seth and Todd Dean are up to doing something as well. I know that anyway. There's a bunch of different projects that came out of 6.0, and we that was kind of the theme. Let's all work together and become a team, or create projects where you could become a team with each other. So that looks good. Yeah, I mean,
our ISG company, Influence Strategies Group, is also evolving too. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Wow. All right, we're gonna do the big release right now, huh? Yeah, this is
all right. let's do it.
So yeah, we used to work with quite a bit of clients that were from different, I guess, verticals, I guess we could say. And at any point in time, jump in if you want to, whatever you want to add to it. I'll let you do what you think as well. But we really had, what we've noticed and what we do best in our marketplace is amplify the brand, or amplify the voice of healthcare CEOs and C-suite. I mean, I think we can include C-suite, can't we? Yeah.
Yep.
So C-suite leaders that want to create a public trust architecture. We know healthcare is changing dramatically, so we've decided to make as Matthew talks about, the 15-degree or 11-degree or 9-degree, whatever pivot we're making, and we are strictly going to be healthcare leaders, CEOs, C-suite individuals, and yeah, that is going to be our marching orders moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's super important this day and age to establish that leadership voice from your executive position in C-suite. We're seeing it more and more, how it's shaping these companies' brands by having someone out in front and talking about the values and the stories that are happening behind the scenes, because that's what people want to hear. They don't, we say it all the time. We don't want to see or hear about the technology that you're, marketing as a company, or a PDF flyer on your LinkedIn page. We want to hear about the point of view that you have. And especially if you are in one of these big leadership positions, talking about, how is your brand evolving? What is going on behind the company? What makes you successful? What makes your people successful? What struggles are you having? Where did you, where in your company do you fall on your face? Maybe in a leadership decision, but it ultimately, took you 2 steps back, so, to go 5 steps forward. Those are the things that people. And that's how you build trust ultimately with your ideal clients anyway. So why not be out in front as a C-suite leader by sharing those things? And ultimately it inspires the rest of the people in your company to also shape their voice, assuming that this company that you have a C-suite leader that is putting their voice out there will allow their employees to speak openly, because that is such an important part of it. I think that culture is obviously still out there, but I think it's kind of a dying idea, because companies are realizing more and more the human touch is so important. The human perspective is so important.
Yeah, and you say it best is that your customers or patients, whatever you, all of the above, they are so well educated now, and the reason they're so well educated is they can go out and utilize AI, ChatGPT, or whatever they want, Claude, and go and find their ideal product or ideal surgeon or ideal physician. And if you as a CEO aren't out there sharing your value and wanting your customers to connect to your organization and you be consider yourself the conduit or at least someone who they want to say, hey, I've watched you talk about this and I'm about ready to get a total knee, and you're out there in the forefront talking about your ingenuity as a company and your ability to develop new products from patient feedback. You know what? You're the company that I want to use.
Exactly. I mean, on top of that, these healthcare leaders, they're facing this pressure to be more visible than ever. The boards want it, the investors want it, the teams want it, and like you said, the customers want it. And most of these leaders, they don't have time to write or put their voice out there. Their calendars are stacked. They're dealing with internal, internal struggles that they, fires they need to put out, and if they're really following kind of internal sterile content marketing, their voices, it gets sanded down, right? And marketing kind of flattens it out. By the time it gets posted or shared, it doesn't sound like anybody. And, AI made it worse. LinkedIn's flooded with these generic posts, and authentic voice is now super scarce. And, we use AI tools, but we don't use AI tools to create slop. We use AI tools to help pull out the soul and put it into a architecture of a personality, and then be able to craft the personal brand, and then ultimately help write for them and put their voice out there with exactly what they want to share. Personal brand, really, smart executives are building this reputation capital they can carry into the next chapter. And most CEOs' chairs are rented anyway, so that brand is yours and owned, and it will take you as far as you want. We'll still help the surgeons and the healthcare entrepreneurs because of our past experience, but we've just realized more and more these C-suite leaders need the help fast. And how we do that is we capture the voice, we have a full process, recurring touch points, and we learn how you actually think before we even write a word.
Yeah, man, that's perfectly. So I love that reputation capital. I got to remember those words. But yeah, that's exactly right. And it was the main reason I think that we both kind of had the aha moment was they don't have the time. They just don't have the time. And whether it's they want to have their public trust architecture out there, or whether they want to write a book, or they want to create a podcast, or they want to do all of these different things, and we've helped do several of those things for several people. It's like that's our vertical became really quickly, the C-suite, where they don't have the time to do it, but they want to do it, and they have to do it. They have to do it because this is the way that they're going to have ultimately their customers / patients connect with their organization.
As we build that up, we then execute it across channels that matter, right? So channels that we fully believe in, obviously LinkedIn, newsletters. We even will have a package for book building, speeches, podcast visits, or actually we might as well mention now that in the future we'll be looking to have some of these people on our podcast to interview them so they can share their story, because people want to hear. And I think there's a lot to learn from these leaders that our audience for this podcast, I think, will soak up and love to hear about it. So.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We are going to bring on some really impressive people. We're working on that right now, but they're going to come out and talk about what their organizations are doing and how they're utilizing, whether it be social media or any of the different avenues that they're utilizing for marketing. gone are the days. I've had this conversation over the weekend with somebody. Gone are the days of a CEO where, you show up at the booth at an academy or at any of the large trade shows, and you go, boy, I hope that surgeon comes by. That we talked, we texted back and forth. They're going to come by at 2 o'clock, and those days. Yep, I know you're all going to say this, and you're going to go, man, I don't know. We've got to have a booth at this meeting. Yep, you sure do. But wouldn't it be nice if it was full? And that's the difference.
I go to booths. I go to booths. I go to these healthcare shows, a few times a quarter for my company, and I'm walking around saying hello to people that I share and enjoy their content on LinkedIn. Like, it's awesome. And now we're all friendly. We know each other by first name. That was not a thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people are big time CEOs, C-suite leaders that are sharing their voice and their perspective every day. And they're known and respected. People know them by their first name. And it's crazy. I think that when we used to go to shows 5 years ago, we knew a few people that we sold against, right? I mean, or we worked for their company previously, but it was not just straight up competitors that we would know them from thought leadership. So, I mean, that's just why it's more important than ever. Wouldn't you want your brand to be out there as you, the person sharing that? I think that's an easy answer for me.
Yeah. And if you're a C-suite leader or president of an organization, and you're walking around and nobody has any idea who you are, you got big problems. I mean, that's not where you want to be. That was fine 20 years ago, but now this is a totally different world. And and not only for what you're doing now, you're building, as you said, reputation capital for the future. You may not be the CEO of that organization you're with for the next 10 years. I don't know, but if you're someone out there who provides value on a daily basis, I can guarantee you, you can write this down, you will have bigger and better opportunities if people know who you are and what you think.
100%. And I think now's a great time. Let's do a little pivot back to Content Crib. We got a little bit off track there. We're just excited to make these announcements. But Content Crib 7.0 coming up October 16th and 17th. With such success on 6.0 and people just clamoring for more help on, how do I get these projects rolling? How do I get organized? How do I, what productivity tools, what kind of AI, is everyone using? What kind of, personal branding tools are out there? It's going to be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I get messages, I know you do all the time, messages that say, hey, what AI agent are you using for this? Or how are you incorporating this in your business? And hey, can you tie this in as far as, website or design or any of this stuff? That's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be about the productivity of how you want to do things in order to do it the best you possibly can. We're going to have again, I'm in awe of the people who are always in the audience. We're going to ask for their feedback, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and then also just what we implement on a daily basis. And I just literally had a message an hour ago asking me, can you sit down with me and take some time, and I want to understand how I can create AI agents in order to. Anyway, I won't share what they asked me about that. I was like, sure, absolutely. But with Content Crib 7.0, that's what we're going to talk about. And I look forward to it. That's always a lot of fun because I learn a ton from everybody there.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. I even got mentioned in finally. How many years it's been? I had to do something helpful enough to get mentioned in Mark Copeland's Point to the Passer weekend post because I helped him out with some AI tools because he was wondering about it. He signed up for a preview of my book and said, "Oh man, that's I read the preview. It looks great. I really need to implement some of these AI tools, but not to pull away from me as a person. And I want to implement the right tools." And I went down a list of some of the things that I use that are really helping me, and he was like, "Wow, this is amazing. Thank you." So I got mentioned in his post, so I think that was a first.
I'm put that right in your LinkedIn profile now, Mark Copeland.
I
Conversation Haver. There you go.
Well, I have so much respect for that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He is like.
Did you know that Mark? Somebody told me he's like extremely tall.
Oh yeah, he's like 6'8"
exactly.
or 6'9" or something.
That's why when somebody said that the other day, I was like, I think maybe Mike Nelligan told me. He's like, yeah, he's really tall. So I know he's listening right now to this podcast, so he can comment below on exactly how tall he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, talk about someone that nailed their talking logo and just went all in on their business and expertise and to help out so many people. I mean, all I hear about is people success stories about learning about his VAC committee magic and knowledge. And I think that's worth noting. Like, we often forget the magic we all have with the little things that we do or big things that we do daily that not everybody knows and most people don't know and they need help with. So keep that in mind, when you want to share something or maybe you come up with a business idea. Everybody has that. So,
Yeah.
It took a lot of digging for me to understand that or just like look in the mirror and figure it out. But everybody
Yeah,
does.
no, you're right about that, and yeah, when you say it, and then it starts going through my mental Rolodex of all the people that we know, that just have shaped their voice on LinkedIn, and that's whether it's down. If I ever have transportation, it's Dan Gallagher, or if I ever want to, back committee, it's
Yeah,
Mark
exactly.
Copeland. I mean, I know that the names come to my mind now, and I saw that Brian McGarry, who he was at one of our content grips, completely has pivoted and he's doing something new today. And I was like, I saw his post, I was like, that's awesome. And he left medical device and he's now in the automobile business. And anyway, pretty cool.
Oh man, I'm looking at it now. Wow, vindicated.ai. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's super cool. I was like, man, that's really neat. And I told him, I was like, this is your best post ever. But it's a cool business idea. Great idea. And he basically said, I mean, if everybody's listening, right, as far as thinking about AI right now and listening, he built his entire company, which 10 years ago he could never done. It's all AI. Are the workflows in the background. Instead of hiring people, he's hired AI, which we've talked about.
Well, there you go.
So
you get to come to Content Crib 7.0 to understand all these things, and we can get together and share the gold and launch your business.
Exactly. And October 16th and 17th in Bentonville. Reach out to any of us if you're interested in going. If you've gone before, just reach out. We'll send you the link. So we like to talk to everybody before they come to Content Crib. If they've never come before, we like to have just so you understand what's going on at the meeting and, make sure we're all aligned and if it's a right fit for you. But you've been there before. You know exactly what it's all about. So please let us know and we'll get you a link.
During this episode, I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder what our thumbnail is going to be for this episode.
Everybody will have to stay tuned and see.
All right, that's a
all right,
wrap.
See ya.